Bees are great for a lot of reasons. One reason is they are great for us. They help us with our food supply. They are very actively involved in the production of most of the food that we eat, or the food that the meat that we eats. So they're interesting for that reason. And then from a more basic biological perspective, we know a lot about their genome. They form very complex societies where individuals that don't really have an idea of what's going on at the colony level are still producing these really spectacular biological patterns. And so they're a great organism to turn to when you want to understand how systems become organized in biology. And so they're good for a variety of reasons. Good because they help us, and also good because they tell us a lot about how the animal world works. Well, right now it's winter, so the bees are alive and active, but they're all clustered together within the colony, eating all of the honey that they saved all summer. And they basically, like when we're cold, we shiver. The bees are doing that right now, and they're generating a lot of heat based on the energy that they're getting from their honey. And so through all that heat, they keep their cluster warm at about 94 degrees Fahrenheit, very close to our own body temperature. We have little entrances that are open right now, so they are getting some fresh air coming in, and they can tell when it's a warm day outside. So when the warm air starts coming in, they'll go on what are called cleansing flights early in the spring, because they've basically been inside all winter eating but not going to the washroom. So they will go on these cleansing flights and defecate all over this arboretum, fertilizing all of the flowers, and then very soon after that, when it warms up enough for them to go on longer flights, they'll start foraging for more honey. And basically we're into late spring at that point. What we do is we train bees to go to a feeder, and this is within a greenhouse, so they're foraging in a closed environment. And then at the feeder we paint mark them, so we know them as individuals. And then they fly back to the hive, and we videotape the dance floor, and this is the part of the hive where the bees that have just been to a feeder would unload all of the food that they're bringing back to food receiving bees. And there they dance to recruit other workers who would like to know where to go to forage. And so we videotape the dance floor, and we characterize the dances that are performed by all of the paint marked bees. And my thesis student, Morgan Carmichael, she looks at the bees and also correlates with their dance activity the chemicals that they're producing. So she'll swipe a very absorptive fiber on their backs that sucks up all the pheromones that they're producing, so she can associate how well they're dancing with how much of these pheromones that they're producing that attract other workers to the dance that they're producing. We've discovered a lot more about how important basically the stresses that our bees are under these days as part of commercial management operations. They are in high competition with one another, sometimes very nutritionally stressed out, and this leaves them susceptible to a lot of diseases, decreases in productivity, and one major challenge for the beekeeping industry is the massive migration of bees to the West Coast every spring. It brings bees from all over the continent into really close proximity, and so it's kind of like having a cold in a classroom. If you're sick and everyone else is in a small space with you, you can really transfer those diseases easily. So we kind of have conditions in North America right now that make it really hard for bees to be bees because of the pressures we put them under as part of our food production chain. So right now, researchers are focusing on the things that can make honeybees healthier, part of which is my research as well.